Okay. Well, I'll start out by reading the mission statement. WIBLA's mission is to provide an inspiring forum for women to explore and advance their creative development, to promote their work in the marketplace, and to infuse the community with their spirit of cooperation and invention. Yay! Do we have any new members? No.
I don't think so.
I don't know who the phone is. Is that you, Denise? Yeah,
Denise.
awesome, awesome.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, look at all these familiar faces. I think this is the first time. I mean, I love new members too, but I just love that everybody's familiar now. I don't know, my heart just got real happy. Do you, Susan, I might not have been super clear about who's moving us from one chair announcement to another. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Because you got other things on the agenda tonight, so I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm looking, I don't see Gwen. Gwen and Rebecca, would you like to give us an announcement on the literary events?
Sure. So the Journey into Hope short story anthology deadline is approaching. There's about 2 weeks left. The due date is the end of this month.
2.5, 2.5. I haven't finished my story yet, so 2.5.
The entry fee is $30 for members, $40 for non-members. If any happen to be here, if you have a friend who's interested, you can submit up to 3 stories. And then our November, it's a longer timeline, but our November member meeting reading theme will be resilience. So you can just prepare for that well in advance.
Rebecca, can you remind me or tell me what the word length is?
I believe it's a minimum of 3,000 and the maximum is 5,000.
Okay.
For the short stories.
So thank you, Rebecca. And the next person I have on the agenda to speak is Alyssa, and she's not here yet. So we'll circle back to her if she arrives while we're still in this portion. Shirley, and I don't see Rebecca, but Shirley, take it away.
Okay, you're meeting Deborah. You don't see
Deborah. What did I say?
You said Rebecca. That's
I said Rebecca. Okay.
Now
well,
Deborah
I can't get enough.
She would try to be here tonight, but she's struggling since a recent medical treatment. So anyway, I'm here. And I guess all I want, a couple of things, just we still have the Rise visual juried show coming up, and I have not yet submitted, but I will. And if you have not submitted your work, you have until June 15 to submit it through the prospectus that you can find on the wibla.org site under events and then visual exhibitions. So check that out. It gives you all the information you need and all the dates. The submission date, as I said, is June the 15th. Then on July the 5th, selections will be announced. Whether you got in the show or even if you didn't get on the show, you'll be told. July 13th is first drop-off date. I think it's like 11:30 to 3
Like that.
at Sabine Street. And then on July the 17th, the show opens. The reception is that evening from 6 to 9. And we will have a Sign Up Genius opportunity for you to sign up to help. And I am really hoping that this gets signed up by whoever wants to, but certainly people even beyond the board, because we've got a lot of membership that I think would enjoy being a part of this. So spread the word and ask people to sign up to either be there when art is dropped off or to help hang the show.
Okay.
And then on the 31st of August, the show will close, and we once again will need volunteers to be there to allow members to pick up or people to pick up their art. The night of July the 17th, when we have the reception, we're going to need volunteers to help there as well with, the food and drinks and things like that. So sign up and invite others to sign up so everybody can get to know more people in WIVLA. Recently, we took some extra rack cards that were, I think, created by Melissa, right, Melody? And Melissa Chambers created these great rack cards, and Melody and Liz Plaster, and actually Liz's significant other, Walter, and
Marie.
and who? Marie and I. Anyway, we went around and
Maybe it was you.
slid these rack cards under doors all over.
You have to go.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I muted her.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so we had a lot of extra advertising going on to hopefully get more people to submit for that. And I think that's all. We have highlighted members filled through the rest of the year for visual. And the one that I couldn't think of last time for July, no, let's see, Deborah's in May, and then July is Raven. So she's set to go in July. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Shirley. And hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Hey, you're here. All right. So Denise, would you like to please share your announcements?
Can you guys hear me on my phone?
Talk loud.
And hopefully that's better than it's been in the past. So Melody, would you enable to let me share my screen, please?
Yes. Okay, wait, I gotta figure out which one of you. Okay. Okay.
Okay, just say let me try. So not the phone one, but the computer one. There we go. All righty. All right, drum roll, please, because we are very, very excited to share that the board has approved our first WIVLA literary anthology. Yay! So this is going to be a competition for WIVLA members. And also we're going to spread the word throughout Texas, and it'll be something that Texas authors identifying as women can participate in. So I won't go through this entire set of information. We're working to put it up on the website and get the form for submission together. But the theme is resilience, so it's aligned with the November reading. The categories are going to be poetry, flash fiction, flash nonfiction, both of those 500 words or less, short fiction and nonfiction, less than 1,000 words. And you'll note there's a little asterisk because we want to emphasize with everybody that we're keeping these to short works so that we are not in any way in competition with what's happening with Houston Writers Guild and the short story competition. So poetry, flash works, longer length works, those will all be judged by our WIVLA stars of literary who are graciously volunteering their time. And then we're also going to have a cover art competition for the book cover and a title competition for the book. So more to come about all of this. For the cover art and the title, what we're going to do is get it set up so our WIVLA members can vote. So the fiction work is going to be judged by our literary folks, but the cover art and the title will be judged by our members. And again, it's all current WIVLA members and Texas authors identifying as women. Any questions on our
of course, I'm
anthology?
curious. Going forward, is it always going to be targeted around the November reading?
Not necessarily. We were just decided that that might work well. And we are planning to have the opening for submissions to be sometime in May. Once we get all the form and everything set up, we'll let everybody know when that will be. It might happen earlier in the month, but it'll open in May. The submissions will close the end of July, and then they'll be judging in the fall. Everybody who is a first, second, or third place, an honorable mention in each of the categories will get into the anthology. And all of those winners who are in the anthology will get a complimentary copy of the paperback of the anthology. And we're going to have a celebration on International Women's Day, which I think is March 8th, 2026. And we'll have a Zoom celebration where we'll invite the people who are winners in the anthology to join us to celebrate and to do readings from their works that are in the anthology.
And what I gathered, that's a fabulous idea, because when we first started pairing up with the Houston Writers Guild about an anthology, there was a long story and people said, what about flash fiction? What about poetry? So it looks like this is being developed specifically not to compete with that, but to take up the slack where the anthology was not addressing some literary needs there.
Absolutely. And one of the goals is, I know that writing a short story, it can be very intimidating for people because it's quite long, and maybe that's not your jam. Maybe poetry is your jam, or shorter fiction. So this is an opportunity to give our literary ladies a chance to shine and share. And maybe if you haven't ever tried to enter a competition, maybe you feel comfortable to try it here. So we definitely encourage experienced people, first-time people. I know some of our visual artists dabble in writing, so please be ready to submit no matter where you align in our Wibble a title. You're more than welcome to submit. And certainly we absolutely hope that our visual artists will submit for the cover art. We're not looking for anything specific in the cover art. The theme is resilient. So whatever inspires you that you would like to submit for the cover art competition, we're happy to have that submission. And then again, the members will vote, and then we'll be able to get that put together. We're going to publish it on Amazon, and it'll be available as a Kindle and as paperback. So we've got it all planned. We're rolling forward.
That sounds wonderful. And just, I love the way you kind of said, well, shorter stories aren't as challenging as longer stories. Oh no.
Intimidating, I think.
They're actually harder. I'm encouraging people who are intimidated by the length issue to consider doing something short. So yeah, we're very excited. More to come, and you'll be well informed along the way as things happen. So thank you all.
And I want to add to, as someone who is new to submitting things for competitions and whatnot, is that there's a careful blind judging, so that it's anonymous judging. Yeah, just that made me feel like, and we're a group of people all about fairness and anonymity with these things. So just, I'm not sure if you said that, Denise, but I wanted to add that. Awesome. I see that Sally has joined us.
And let me just point out, I'm assuming you can submit to both anthologies, get a long story, get a short story, get a poem, and just submit all over the place.
Yeah, submit on.
Like it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we allow you to submit multiple categories within the anthology, but we're limiting it to 3 entries. So you could do a poetry entry, a flash entry, and a longer entry if you wanted to, but it's a max of 3, just because we're trying to not overwhelm our judges this first round. Sure. Or you could enter 3 different poetry entries, So all the details will be out there, but we just encourage you to, whatever you're comfortable with and wherever you want to stretch, give it a shot.
All right, I do not yet see Alyssa, so I will do a program update, and I'm no replacement for Alyssa, but I think, and you might need to help me, Denise, contemplative photography workshop that you want to say something about that?
Yeah, sure. So it's going to be another wonderful Right Space gathering on the second Sunday. So that'll be second Sunday in May. And basically what I'm going to do is walk you through a practice of working with photography that's based in Buddhist traditions of mindfulness. And we're going to be working with color, pattern and texture and light. And we'll actually have an introduction to how you would do that and work with your camera. We'll go shoot on site.
Correct.
Then there'll be a little review, not a heavy critique, but a little sharing and review. And then we'll do that for each of the different forms of photography that we're looking at. It's a really wonderful way to slow down and really experience your world more directly. And I think that, you know, Marie and Susan and some other folks here who have taken the class, maybe Marie, you might want to say something about your experience.
I loved it. We spent, I think it was a 2-day event at Jomar Visions. We did a Saturday and a Sunday. And I just went around with my camera taking close-ups of walls, of the ground, of anything you could think of that I could find texture and colors. And it was just a wonderful experience. It really is. It helps you. It teaches you how to look at things completely differently.
And I'll say the practice of contemplative photography is excellent for writers to be able to write a scene while paying attention and seeing things differently. That skill really gets honed. So then you're able to write with more concrete details and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. So it's good for both sides of our organization. So it's posted, registration is open. We're about half full. So if you think that you might be interested, now is a good time to sign up. All you need, you don't need a big expensive camera. Your cell phone is fine. Just make sure you know how to zoom in, you know, with your cell phone, because we're going to be doing a lot of up close photography. But for those who register, I'll send out more information about how the logistics will work. But it's a 3-hour workshop, so it'll be 1 to 4 the second Sunday in May.
Fabulous. Look at that. Our goal was to end the announcements at 6:30, and here we are. So I'm going to send it back to Melody or Susan, whoever is going to.
So not me, but Alyssa has one more member event on the calendar for April, and that's April 26th at the Jung Center from 2 to 3:30. I know you're just texting me to see if I would remember. I'm having an artist talk, and I was thinking about it. I may have a demo too, to kind of show how I create my art. So that will be on April 26th. That's a Saturday from 2 to 3:30.
Fabulous. All right, now Susan or Melody. I'm not sure who's doing the introductions. Susan?
Yeah, that would be me. I get the honor of introducing our 2024 recipients for our Echo Awards. And oh my gosh, I was just reading their bios today, and these 2 women are highly accomplished women. I can't wait to see what they've used their money, their $1,000 for. So let's I didn't really ask either one who might like to go first. Would one of you like to volunteer to go first? All right, and then I'm just gonna pick somebody. Mildred, you can go first. So let me tell you a little bit about Mildred. She sent me a wonderful bio, and I could show you this picture of her, but I think you may have seen it. It's a beautiful picture of her. Mildred Mills is a nationally recognized author, podcaster, and motivational speaker whose storytelling journey began on a 60-acre farm in Wetumpka, Alabama, where she was born, the third of 17 children. Now a retired IT executive and winner of the 2022 Etruscan Prize and 2024 Self-Love Advocate of the Year Award, Mildred speaks to the heart of overcoming silence, shame, and systemic barriers. Her best-selling memoir, Daddy's House, a daughter's memoir of setbacks, triumphs, and rising above her roots, offers a raw and healing account of childhood trauma, domestic violence, and resilience. Her next projects are a children's book about the emotional impact of incarcerated fathers on their children and a short film of her memoir. Mildred's voice is grounded in lived experience, uplifted by healing, and dedicated to the liberation of others through truth-telling, self-love, and faith. So Mildred, let's hear from you. And if you need to share your screen, then you have that capability.
Okay, I would like to share my screen, if you would please. Good evening, Wibbler friends and family. For those of you who know me, you know that I love to tell a story. I am a storyteller. A good story brings joy to my soul. So guess what? Today you're going to get a story. I started out creating this amazing PowerPoint and with all these pictures and music and words, and it felt stilted and unnatural, so I crafted a story. I am honored to have been chosen as your literary award recipient and excited to name the next winner before the night's end. I was filled with many emotions when Ellen called my name last year. I was filled with joy, disbelief, and ecstasy. But more than anything, I felt a sense of responsibility to do something lasting and meaningful with the gift the women of Wivla gave me. That $1,000 award wasn't just a check, it was a seed that when planted with faith and intention would blossom into a nationwide journey of healing, hope, and human connection. Now let's be honest. $1,000 doesn't exactly scream cross-country travel, luxury hotel stays, or gourmet meals in a five-star restaurant. But I come from a legacy of making a dollar stretch and a dream expand. So instead of flights, I filled up my tank. Instead of booking resorts, I leaned on the hospitality of friends and kind strangers. And instead of planning an escape, I mapped a mission to use my story to heal others while continuing to heal myself. With my book, Daddy's House, a daughter's memoir of setbacks, triumphs, and rising above her roots in the passenger seat, and purpose riding shotgun, I hit the road. I traveled to small towns and big cities, speaking to packed rooms and individual hearts. I met people from all walks of life, welfare recipients and judges, district attorneys and social workers, librarians and educators, book lovers and nonprofit leaders. And I found that everywhere I went, there's a little pocket of pain beneath every title, behind every smile, and often it just takes a kind word and a listening ear to soothe it. Let me tell you about some of the extraordinary places and people I encountered. In Atlanta, my neighbors and dear friends gathered for mimosas with Mildred at Atlantic Residences, a celebration of my book, but more than that, a celebration of resilience and friendships. Over 50 people shared laughter, tears, and testimony. It reminded me that community is the greatest launchpad for change. I joined a Circle of Authors panel at the Mega Millions reunion in Greenville, North Carolina. We discussed the power of the pen and how storytelling, raw, real, and sometimes painful, is the bridge to understanding empathy and social transformation. I gave a keynote address at a Mother's Day brunch for a Welfare to Work program sponsored by a nonprofit organization. What I received in return was overwhelming gratitude. These women saw in my story the possibility of rewriting their own story. You know why? Because at one point in my life, I was one of those women. I will never forget the tearful hugs and heartfelt thank yous. One woman said, I almost didn't show up today because I didn't want to be talked down to yet again. She told me, you're the first person that's spoken to us on our level. Now, women, I know that we've all been through something or other, and it's not okay to look down on others, which I'm sure none of us do that. It doesn't cost much to be kind, to be nice, to encourage someone. Speaking of encouragement, 3 astonishing things brought me to tears when I brought Daddy's House home to my home, Wetumpka, Alabama, and it is now in the public library there. First of all, the mayor of the city introduced me. And then, second, sitting in the front row were 5 old ladies, and I call them old because the oldest one was 90 years old, and the others were in their late 80s. But these women are my first cousins, and they said, we're representing your mama and your daddy. And we came to see if you were telling the truth when you told your story. And the third thing that happened, I saw my book placed on the library shelves, a permanent reminder that no matter where we start, we can return healed and whole. I spoke at Wilberforce University Alumni Association's Founders Day in Ohio, a full circle moment that merged my past with my present. Many of you also know that when I left Alabama, the cotton fields of Alabama, I went to Ohio to attend technical school. My 2-day trip to the Sun Tree Country Club in Melbourne, Florida was terrific. One day, I attended a book club meeting, and the next day, I had tea among old money and older people, all white. Their support of me and my book was remarkable. And there was a judge in the audience who asked a question. She said, now, I've read your book and it is so amazing, but what I don't understand is the violence that was in your home. And that judge asked me if the law ever intervened in the upbringing of the children in my home. And I said to her with a smile, I would have sold tickets to see anybody intervene in my father's house. But we had a conversation about violence in the home and she asked me another question. She asked me if I thought that my father's discipline was far too strict. And she also asked if I thought that the law should have intervened. And I had to think about that. I said, I don't think so. I think that my parents had they were very successful as parents. I knew where I was going to sleep every night. I had a hot meal every day. I had hot meals every day. And I don't know what happens to these children when they go to foster homes. I just told her that I thought that my parents were very successful in raising their children. And at the end of that conversation, or at least at the end of that night, the lady said to me that I had given her a lot to think about because the courts don't really think about what it costs children when they're separated from their parents. And of course, there are times when intervention is necessary, but not always. I signed books at the West Coast Black Theater Troupe in Sarasota and shared stories at a Juneteenth roundtable at my old alma mater, Wilkes-Barre, Wilkes University in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And then there were those unexpected moments, being asked to be the Father's Day speaker at my church, then having men approach me, their eyes lowered, but their hearts wide open to say, "Your story gave me the courage to finally speak my truth." The book clubs that fearlessly tackled issues like domestic violence, parenting, and the power of vulnerability. The woman who whispered, "You told my story." I thought I was the only one when I talked about sexual violence or sexual abuse. All of this, every mile driven, every story shared, every tear shed, was powered by that $1,000 Echo Award. Yes, I could have flown, but in taking the road less traveled, I received a richer award. I didn't just travel the country, I touched it, and it touched me back. So thank you to the women of Wivla who gave me so much, who inspire me so much. Your investment in me became an investment in hundreds of others who needed reminding that their stories matter, that their voices have value, that healing is not only possible, it is contagious. My story moved one woman at a book club so much that she nominated me for the 2024 Self-Love Advocate of the Year, which I won. This award wasn't just about recognition. It wasn't about restoration. It was about redemption. And it was about continuing a mission that I know is far bigger than me. As I continue this journey, I do so with deeper conviction, renewed energy, and everlasting gratitude. Thank you, women of Wivla, for this award.
Woo.
Now, I always, at the end of my readings, when I read my book, I try to leave a little bit of time for a discussion. I don't like to say Q&A. I just like questions. I mean, I like to have a discussion. And I was given 20 minutes. Of course, I'm willing to give back those 5 or however many minutes, or I will take any questions or discussions that anyone has. Who said that?
Wow. Yeah.
You want to unshare your desktop so we can?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Susan had a question.
I've read your
Oh, go ahead.
I've read your story. And we've become friends over the last couple of years. Gosh, I guess.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm thrilled with what you were able to do with this grant. I'm so proud of you and just proud to know you. So
Well, thank you very much.
way to go.
Thank you. Like I said, I had up until today, I was working with that PowerPoint and I thought I'm going to just do something whiz bang. And I thought, I'm a storyteller. I am not a person who puts together all these things and make them spin and do all these things. So pardon me for doing something different.
If you haven't heard one of her podcasts before, you kind of got a feel for what it's like, except this didn't have the background music that you often have.
It acts this, I could
I know
hear
it
that
did,
music.
but we didn't hear it. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened, but I could hear it in my ear. It was Order My Footsteps in Your Word. Just the musical. It was so beautiful. I'm sorry you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Is there another question or do we pass it on?
There's Kay McStay.
Kay, yes.
Mildred.
Yes.
I feel so blessed to have heard this presentation tonight.
Thank you so much. This is what we want to do in WIVLA, is
Oh,
give everybody the opportunity to take their art, get it out to all the peoples, and you have really done this, and it's just amazing. It was so impressive to see all those slides of where you've been and whom and the people with whom you've talked. So thank you. This was just so inspiring. Thank
well,
you.
thank you. Thank you very much.
So Mildred, I was wondering if you have a projected date for your children's book and your film that's going to come out?
Well, the film I just started, but I've never written a film before, but I am so excited. This woman that I'm working with, she's just a driver. She drives harder than my father did. And so I've actually written the first cut. And it's going to be a 5 to 10 minute film. And the idea is to show it at those film festivals and just to get the word about the book out there. So think about taking a whole book and trying to find 5 to 10 minutes that is going to snatch somebody's attention and keep that attention. And I did that, I think. So, but the children's book I expect to be in the late fall, early winter, late fall, early winter. And the film, I don't, like I said, I just got started with that. And I have no idea what it takes to make that happen, but I'm working with a woman who does. So, but I'll keep you guys updated.
It's great. Can't wait.
I think my 20 minutes is up. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, it's almost up, but I
All
remember
right.
Brooke saying,
Yay.
we said we're going to let go at 7:30 or 6:30. It's 7:30. It's 7:50 here where I live. But thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate. I remember last year hearing, gosh, the Boop lady, B Boop, do her presentation, and I thought, how can you do that much with $1,000? And hey, you can do a lot with $1,000.
You can.
It's Margot.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Mildred. That was wonderful. Yeah,
Thank you.
really were inspired by that. All of us, I'm sure. Jean, are you ready to go?
I'm kind of overwhelmed after that, but
Oh no, don't be. You're gonna do fine. Let me tell you a little bit about Jean. Jean has taught in public schools in Houston for the past 22 years. She has been a lead specialist teacher, lead art teacher, vanguard gifted and talented art teacher, and multicultural art teacher. Before she began teaching in public schools, she taught as a visual artist instructor from 1978 to 1992 for a variety of organizations, including St. Joseph Multi-Ethnic Cultural Arts, Creative Alternatives, and the Contemporary Art Museum of Houston. She has taught 3-year-olds through senior citizens and given workshops for everyone from the American Association of University Women to the Houston Zen community on anything from mandalas to string games and origami, and from precious metal clay to iPods to the art room, in the art room. Jean has exhibited her artwork throughout the state of Texas. She is a 3-time Fund for Teachers Fellow and a 2008 Japan Fulbright Memorial Fund Fellow. In 2011, she was named Texas Art Education Association Outstanding Elementary Art Educator of the Year. She served on the Texas State Board of Education, Texas Education Agency, Fine Arts Middle School Review Committee in 2012. From 2007 to 2013, she served as one of the TAEA Area 6 representatives. I don't know if I got that right or not, Jean. I'm sorry. She retired from teaching art in HISD in 2014, only to go back to the classroom at St. Stephen's Episcopal School until 2020. She possesses immense curiosity. She is a member of the Houston Bead Art Society, Houston Book Arts Guild, Women's Caucus for Art, Origami USA, Visual Arts Alliance, in addition to WIVLA. And she included a couple of quotes here that obviously mean a lot to her, so I'm going to read those as well. Act as if you do what makes a difference. It does. And that's a quote by William James. And then another one by William James is, we work in the darkness. We do what we can. We give what we have. Our doubt is our passion, and our passion is our task. The rest is the madness of art. I love that. Okay, Jean, I'm going to just turn it over to you.
Okay, so 2024 was one heck of a year. We had the derecho, we had Hurricane Beryl, and all kinds of things went on around my house. So I went from this, here's my construction pictures, to this, which is better. But once we get started, it's hard to stop. And so the work continued. And just to add to all my fun, in July, I added this little guy who's now much bigger than that and much more vocal. The Eco Grant freed me to explore a variety of different materials and techniques. It inspired me in so very many ways. And you'll see, I've only just begun. Well, I'll explain that as I go. Sadly, this is not my toolbox. I spent all my money on tools and art supplies and learning more. Tools and materials for mosaics. I got a wet saw, glass grinder, hand tools, all manner of things for mosaics. I got tools for encaustic. So I got warming trays and paints and all of that. And you notice that under mosaics, I got Band-Aids, and I also got Band-Aids for encaustic. And then bookmaking, and I got tools for that, and also Band-Aids for paper cuts. So here's pictures of two of my books. The first one with the black is a flag book, and the other was, I couldn't get the whole thing in the picture because it's very long. So that it said live life, and it has stamps and things, inspirational quotes. And I went to a wide variety of workshops and lectures. I went to the Orange Show Center for Visionary Art and took 2 mosaic workshops. I took a welding workshop, an electronics workshop, and a styrofoam forms workshop. And at the Center for Contemporary Craft, I took framing workshop and a cyanotype workshop. I also did 2 workshops with Susan Salter, the contemplative collage and encaustic, and then went to several other things, to an ampersand workshop at Texas Art, and also to a pastels workshop at Texas Art, the Visual Arts Alliance workshop on branding, the digital blackout poetry workshop at Grackle and Grackle, the Manil members lectures, and paint pours at the Watercolor Art Society. I gave several workshops, including surrealist art techniques at the Watercolor Art Society, epiphania and soufflage at the Watercolor Art Society. I did a presentation on Huichol beadwork at the Houston Bead Art Society, and a presentation on flexagons at the Houston Book Arts Guild. And I included my little video. Let's see if it'll play. I don't know if it will. Probably not, because everything works that way for me. Okay, so anyway, that's a flexagon there. And if you want to know more, I'll show you later. I've exhibited work during this time at the following: the Jung Center Visions exhibit, the Visual Arts Alliance exhibit at Red Bud Art Center, Liveless Collaboration Show, and then multiple times at the Watercolor Art Society. I'm currently working on, I have an assortment of clocks that are being transformed into sculptures that will contain handmade books. So this is one of them. And I have put glass tiles on the front of it, and then I have an accordion book that will fit on the interior. And this other thing I've been up to, which is I'm real enthused about it, and I'm waiting to see how this all comes out. I've been saving Chemex coffee filters. My husband drinks coffee every day, and they're this wonderful paper, and I couldn't throw them away. So what I did was I started saving them, and they come 100 in a box. I think I'm on about the third box now. So I've been painting on them and drawing on them. And then also I found that you can sew them. If you take them and paint them with gel medium, they feel like parchment. They feel like more like they're leathery. So I'm gonna develop that, and I'm experimenting with it. And I'm using all of the tools and materials that I acquired over this last year, and I'm going to create covers for my books and other works that way. And that's my whole presentation. I don't have any music, and I don't have a wonderful story to tell you, so I'm very sorry. But that's it. So now let's see if I can figure out how to unshare my screen.
Well, while you're doing that, I don't think you have anything to be sorry for. I think it was a wonderful presentation. And it looks like you really got a lot of benefit out of that $1,000. So that's what it's all about. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Let's see if I can get out of it though. There it is. Okay, I found it. Yay, I got out. I'm free. I'm free.
I have to ask, okay, so the coffee filters, are they used? I mean, so you're taking them after they've been used and washing them, or what? Or you're sneaking them out of the box before they're used?
They're used.
Okay.
They're definitely used. My husband makes coffee every morning, and he loves, he took over my Chemex, so. But it's a great paper.
That's a great idea.
I love
Very
it.
creative.
Thank you.
Go, Kate.
Okay. Jean, thank you again. What a wonderful presentation. I want you to give a budget class on how you got all that equipment and all the things out of $1,000. That's amazing. And that's just a glorious use of the fund dollars. Yeah. No,
Well,
that's
I added
really
money into
good.
it.
Yes, yes.
So
but
definitely.
it's wonderful that you did all that.
Well, thank you.
And Jean, following Mildred's like following Gladys May.
Yes, it is. Next time I know if Mildred's in line, I'm
when
going
given the
first.
opportunity, always go before.
I think all of the different ways you're experimenting and playing and discovering new things is an incredible story to tell. So I do think you told a really powerful story. So I almost kind of wanted to study each of the slides to look at different ways to play with things I've never tried before. Yeah, it was very inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
So do you have that flexi thing,
a flexagon?
Yeah, with you?
No, they're downstairs.
Okay.
I could, I can't figure out how to make it play down here, so.
It's okay.
And which of the classes did you like the best? I'm sorry, Donna. Rana, I ignored your hand up. Sorry.
What was the question?
Rona,
which of the classes did you like the best?
Well, it's kind of an associated question. So, were these things you had already had an interest in exploring, and then but not maybe the means or to invest in all those different tools? Or, how, because they're quite, they're a little bit diverse,
A little, yes. No, I think it comes from teaching that you have to be sort of I guess it's a Jill of all trades or a Jacqueline of all trades. So, yeah, I'm interested in just about anything and everything, which is problematic because I think if I stayed in one vein, it would be easier to show and easier to promote, but it's more fun my way. So, and and I'm 70 years old now, so I don't really care anymore. And so once upon a time, I think when I was, when I was much younger, I thought maybe someday I would be on the cover of Art News or Art in America or something like that. But I have a feeling that that's probably not going to happen. So I'll just go with what I got.
Yeah, I want to say something. I thank you, Jean, for turning up most Tuesdays and helping out the team and bringing tools and buying stuff to help us do the mosaic. And we're getting closer to getting it up on the wall, aren't we?
Yes. I had lots of pictures of the mosaics, but I wanted to save that for when we get ready to do a presentation on what we've been working on all this time. Sally and Anne Mabry and Deb Horowitz have all been working on the mosaic for Smither Park, and it's extraordinary. It's gonna knock your socks off. I think it's great.
You've been a great contributor, and I don't know how you found the time to come. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I was going to say, it looked like an awful lot of the things that you bought were contributors to that mosaic.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, they've helped with that, but
tools. She's an addict for tools, right? There isn't a tool, Jean.
That's what my husband says. He says that I have one of everything, or possibly two.
Just one, yeah. So, Jamie, I think you were trying to ask. Yeah, Jamie, were you trying to ask her a question?
Yeah, which one of the classes did you enjoy the most this year?
Out of all of them, let me think for a minute. I think the ones that were at the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft, the framing one, I can frame things in simple store-bought frames, but I'm not really good at it. I'd rather buy pre-made mats. And they did a wonderful framing workshop that had one of the people from, where was she from? Not from the MFA. Oh, she was from the Manil. So she actually did the workshop. And then the cyanotype workshop they did was really good. And they're pretty reasonably priced, and their location is easy to get to and nice to park at. And the people are nice. And I've taken things there before. Years ago, I got to see Joyce C. Scott, who is the queen of beadwork. And she was there and she did a workshop. And so I like their workshops a lot.
Are the clocks something that you've owned and you're repurposing, or do you go find antique looking clocks?
No. Sally has our person who is our sort of our mentor for the mosaics had a yard sale, and then she decided it wasn't really a yard sale, that the weather didn't agree and it ruined it over and over again. And so she basically said, come over here and I just want this stuff to go away. And I got over there, and you can tell my husband thinks I'm crazy because I I have 9 clocks downstairs, all different sorts, and they're, they're all made in China and everything, so they'll become very expensive soon. But I've been dismantling them, which is one of the things I like to do. And I got all kinds of things from her. She had like wonderful stuff, and it was like, and I see I can't part with any of my stuff. I love it all too much. So I now have 9 clocks, and my husband keeps going, "What are you going to do with those?" It's like, just wait.
I wish you would have called me. I would have been over there to get some stuff too.
Hey, it was very unexpected, and I didn't realize that she was going to just give me things. And so it was like, oh my God. I mean, there were lots of really intriguing little knickknacks and things, and so they all came home with me.
Any other questions for Jean? Thank you so much, Jean. That was really, really great.
Thank
Very,
you.
very inspiring. Especially for somebody like me who likes to buy all kinds of tools and stuff too. So you wouldn't believe some of the stuff I have in my house.
I bet we
We should
would.
get together over that sometime.
Yes, we should.
Because of the stuff thing, I'd just like to say, some of you are probably in Fourth Friday Divas with Sarah Gish. Sarah did a presentation with us in the past year. They do a clothing swap. I was thinking maybe we need to have something where no one gives anything away without, like, I don't know, maybe we need to have a stuff swap.
Yeah,
we did.
Because I have collections of things that I will never go back to, and I would love to see what another artist would do with them instead of me just dumping them. So maybe that's something we need to think about.
About 30, well, more than that, 40 years ago here in Houston, there was a little gallery called On Wa, which was on Wa Drive. And so we called it an art bazaar, except it was spelled bizarre, not the other way. And that was the idea, was artists could bring anything like art supplies or anything else that you were not going to use and trade them. And of course I came home with a lot more junk. That's why, Texas Art Asylum is dangerous.
my favorite
Because
place.
if I take things over there, I come home with other things.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for our drawings?
Yes.
Okay. So since we started with Mildred, we will start with her with a drawing for literary.
Where is she?
So
She's got her bowl there.
So I have in front of me a mug that says, "I am an architect of words." So I'm going to pull out. Good luck, ladies, whoever's in this bowl. I want to look straight ahead so that I don't read the name. Of course, they're folded. So should I read the name now?
You can hold it up. Hold it up.
Go ahead and hold it up. Oh, Rebecca.
Rebecca.
All right.
Yay.
Is Rebecca on?
She is.
I am.
She's got a big smile on her face.
Me.
Congratulations, Rebecca.
Thank you.
I can't remember. Do we ask now if they have any ideas? No. Okay.
I mean, they can tell us if they want to, but it's not a requirement.
Yeah, let
It's
it be a
not required.
surprise.
You might not know yet. So Jean, are you ready?
Yes. I figured I have a holy bowl. Okay.
A holy bowl.
A holy bowl.
Okay.
With some names inside. And I did not fold mine up. I wadded them. So they look like they're ready to be spitballed or something. Okay, so I won't look while I pull, but it won't matter. Okay, I've got one in my hand. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. It's going to be backwards.
Gail.
All right, Gail.
Gail.
Woohoo.
Where are you, Gail? Are you here?
She's here. She's waving at us.
There she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Thank
hard to
you,
open it because I
Jean.
wanted it so well.
Oh boy, I'm thrilled.
All right. Congratulations.
Congratulations to both of you.
Woohoo!
So get busy.
Yes, ma'am.
We
I
want,
definitely will.
can't
Well, it
wait
looks
to
like
see what you-
Rebecca's already said what she's thinking about.
Uh-huh. You got to make that $1,000 stretch.
Oh yeah. I'll call Mildred for advice on that.
Yeah,
Oh, get
stretching
creative.
exercises. Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations to both of you. I'm going to turn it back over to Brooke now.
Okay. And I don't know if everybody realized it, but we got 2 pages today, which makes me happy. I always love it when our Zoom calls are big enough to warrant 2 pages. If you're like formatted the same way I am. Yeah, so remember that too. I'm trying to remember to make sure if somebody's holding a physical hand, I might need to go see it on the other page. We have some time for member announcements. So does anybody have other things to celebrate besides having a surprising extra $1,000 to do something with? People have any announcements for shows, awards, things like that? Celebrations.
Gwen is
I will
launch.
Okay,
not-
Alyssa first and then Kelly.
And Jamie had her hand up too, I think.
Oh boy, this is going to be hard. Okay.
Well, I'll be quick. Just a reminder that the Jung Center Gallery open submission for solo shows is open until the end of April. You can find submission guidelines on our website at junghouston.org. And then also we have our summer community show coming up for the Jung Center. And we've had many people that register for a program or sign up for a membership on site to be able to participate in that show. So it's one that we do every summer. It's not juried. We take everyone that comes, but you do need to be either a current student or a current member of the Jung Center. So again, all those deets are on the gallery page of the Jung Center's website.
Awesome. Kelly,
Hi.
Jamie, and then Rona, just to keep us clear.
Well, a couple of things. I help to host First Fridays, which is coming up May 2nd. And I hope some of you come out. It's always fun. It's kind of a hub for different people all over Houston to come together. And it's very diverse and energetic. And the featured reader is Tamara Nichols Smith, who's a fabulous poet. And the second thing was I'm doing a reading at Basket Books on May 3rd with some other good poets. So I hope to see some of you there. And if you haven't checked out Equinox for spring 2021, some of the WIVLA members are in that issue, and it's a really beautiful issue. You can find that at hotpoet.org and just scroll down to Equinox. And yeah, that's all I got.
Kelly, that First Friday, is that the one at Kojak's?
No, First Friday is at Imprint.
At Imprint. Okay, thanks. All right, Jamie, and then Rona.
I have 4 photographs that are going to be on display for the Hardy and Nan Studio Black and White show this Saturday. So that's all. And I had some others on display at the this last week at the Texas City Art Festival.
Awesome. Rona, you're on.
Yeah, so this isn't happening till July, and I don't even know the exact dates yet, but I'm really excited. I got accepted into an exhibit with the title Theme of Proverbs at Hebrew Union College, Bernard Heller Gallery in Manhattan. And I'm just really excited about it. I'm going to plan to get there for the opening when I know it is. So it's a piece I had done for another show that wasn't accepted. And yeah, it's just, I didn't expect it at all. I mean,
the
show for the Women's Caucus, which several of you were in, is up in San Antonio till May 1st. And I think it's open Thursdays and Fridays. Unfortunately, limited hours because it's the Mexican Cultural Center, and that's when they're open. It's a beautiful show. We have images online, I think.
Awesome. Thanks, Rona. Okay, I saw Shirley's hand.
Right, I can't find the little hand raise icon.
It's okay. I saw your real hand. Go for it.
The real hand works. There is a show coming up at the Cloister Gallery it opens on May the 28th and includes, so it's the Houston Area Art Tribe. It includes Susan Salter, Pam Swallow, Pat Waftel. I'm trying to think, Susan, is there anyone else in WIVLA that's part of that? There are 13 of us in all. Opening May the 28th, and then later in June, I think June 26th, we're having the reception at the Cloister, and then it closes July the 8th. So,
Melody, thank you, Shirley.
Shirley, would you put the reception on the WIVLA calendar? I mean, that goes for like anybody, because Gwen's not here, but her book launch is April 22nd at Murder by the Book. I plan to be there.
I plan to be there too.
Well, okay. So there'll be at least two of us, but no, I'm looking forward to it. My show at the Jung Center, I mentioned earlier the event on the 26th, but the show is up through May 14th. So if you can't make it on Saturday, you can still go by, and they're all very nice there.
And it looks amazing.
We don't bite.
Yeah, I get to walk by it every day, and the show looks incredible.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Mildred, I saw your hand.
Yes, I am a keynote speaker at a justice conference in Chicago on May 9th. And this is for to speak about the impact of how children are impacted by fathers being incarcerated. And I have a keynote, but it's a discussion with judges and a lot of people in the justice system. I mean, just to try to figure, I think we have a crisis in this country. We're locking up folks for all kinds of reasons, and the impact on children is just crazy. And I am passionate about this subject because my 11-year-old twin grandchildren's father has been in prison since they were 2 years old. And he was a first-time offender, a nonviolent offense. And I absolutely believe that people should go to prison, or people should be punished for crime. But I think the time should fit the crime also. So there's that.
That's great.
I have a couple of things.
Susan.
Shirley Vire and Brenda Bowman and I are still, our show is still up at the Fort Bend Museum. It's going to be up through May 19th, I believe. And so if you're ever out in this area, it's a very nice show. Love for you to go see that. And then I'm represented by a gallery in Galveston, which is formerly G. Lee Gallery. They have recently changed their name to Texas Coastal Artists. It's on the Strand, and I am going to be the featured artist there in the month of May.
Yay.
So if you're ever down, I'll be there pretty much every Saturday that I can be there. So if you ever want to take a trip down to Galveston, I'd love to see you there.
I think I was just at that gallery last week. It's on the Strand, right?
Who's saying that?
Kelly.
Oh, Kelly. Okay.
went in.
Yes, it is on the Strand.
It was a nice place.
It is a very nice gallery. It is.
I'm scanning for hands. Unmute yourself and yell
And
at me if I don't see you.
Reminder, ladies, please send that information to me at newsletter@wibla.org so I can put it in the newsletter. Some of you have done that. You have until the 20th of this month to get that information about what is going on for you guys.
And I'll make a plug for one of our partners, sponsors and partners at Write Space, who have been giving us their workshop space. They are having their annual Writers Family Reunion the first weekend in May. And I have been invited to the education pitch session so I can talk about what WIVLA does and talk about all the wonderful offerings that we have, programs that we have going on. So, but keep an eye out for different communications on that. There may be some opportunities to do some things there at a discount because of our relationship with Write Space. So just watch out for that and put that on your calendar. Yes, Melody.
One more thing. First of all, we had an awesome workshop there. Was that Sunday? I mean, I'm really losing track of days here. The felting workshop was just
Sunday.
so much fun. And I wasn't able to make it to LaPorte, but I heard so many wonderful things about that literary event, the Poetry by the Bay. And Gladys May, you looked fabulous. And how would I know that she looked fabulous if I wasn't there? Because I just finished editing the video. The video will get uploaded to YouTube tonight. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will be notified as soon as it gets uploaded. I'll also post it on our Facebook group page.
Yes,
Yes, I wanted to say to Denise, what a wonderful job I think you're doing on the newsletter this year. Thank you very much.
I feel like it's evolved past newsletter, and we should we should call it the WIVLA monthly library of resources. It's just so packed. It's so good. Anyone else? Okay, well, we might be ending this one early, ladies. And for those of you whose voice never made it in the room, I am glad to see your faces and your smiles and I don't know, just delightful to see us all gathered together. All right, well, I guess that's it. I'm tired of hearing my voice. I don't want to hold you to that any longer. Awesome job. Bye.